Guilty. The verdict against the McDonnell's marks a first in American history.
The former governor and his wife could be in prison in January.
The jury found Bob McDonnell guilty on 11 counts, his wife on 9 counts.
This is not the kind of history you want to make. Not only is Bob McDonnell the first governor and Mrs. McDonnell the first lady in Virginia to be convicted of a crime, but in fact, they are the first governor and first lady convicted together in the entire history of the country.
Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe says he is horribly sad about the verdict and, quote, the impact it had on our Commonwealth's reputation for honesty and clean government.
Attorney General Mark Herring says we have a long way to go to restore the public's trust after this embarrassing and difficult period for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now, our Rico Bush is in the newsroom.
And Rico, what is next for the McDonnell's and this landmark case?
Well, Don and Katie, the McDonnell's lawyers say they are appealing the guilty verdicts. Bob and Maureen McDonnell could face up to 20 years behind bars for the conspiracy, fraud, and bribery convictions. The jury convicted the former governor and the former first lady on nearly all counts involving doing favors for wealthy businessman Johnny Williams. Jurors acquitted them on bank fraud on loan applications. Even though the couple was found guilty, this case is far from over. We talked to Norfolk City Councilman and well-known Andy Protogiro, who says it may have been a mistake for the McDonnell to take the stand.
One thing here that no one has really talked about, when somebody takes the witness stand and they roll it and they lose on every count, just about, that means the jury didn't believe what he said. Then that's often in the federal eyes, that's a lie. And if he lied on top of being under oath, on top of being convicted, the judge can consider that when he gives his sentence.
Now, the process for prison time is complicated. Not every single guilty count is added up to determine the sentence. The feds take the count that holds the most prison time and work off that one. Considering the crime, the amount of money received, and other factors, Protogiro says it looks like McDonnell could face up to 10 years behind bars. In a statement after the verdicts, U.S. attorneys and the FBI praised the jury. They say this case should send an important message across the country that they will vigorously pursue any allegations that involve public corruption. Dan and Katie?
Rico, thank you. New this morning, jurors begin to explain their decision. They said the evidence was overwhelming. It was staring them in the face.
Robin Trujillo told the Washington Post she has no regrets, but, quote, I felt physically ill knowing I was about to go out there and face the McDonnell's. We were comfortable with what we did, but we are still human beings.
Then came the word from the clerk.
And here's our Aaron Kelly's account of what that was like inside court.
She read it. Then came the word from the clerk. Guilty. It seemed to sting the family each of the 20 times she read it. The McDonnell children sobbed loudly. Maureen McDonnell wept. Bob McDonnell shook as he cried, hunched over in his chair, his hand on his face. He seemed a different man from the one who arrived at the courthouse earlier that morning.
The entire country has its eyes on these convictions and what happens next.